explorers, welcome back. Today we're out in the countryside, as you can see. Don't know how well you can see that, but we're having a bit of a wander round. I've roughly pinpointed a location which is like an old car garage. It should have loads of cars on site, so I think we're getting close now. So I've started the filming, so hopefully we find it, and it turns out to be a good one. It's looking promising. We've got something here anyway. I had a good look on Google Maps, like an aerial view, and I could see a few outbuildings and stuff. So by the look of this, we're here, or at least we're somewhere. That's a really old lawnmower, look at that. Right, so there's a shower there, look. So someone originally was living here, I take it, because there's a shower there. There's actually quite a bit of stuff still in it. Got coats, obviously using that as a bed. Got a little log burner, like a heater. There's quite a few flies in here. Floor's not safe. It's also rotten wood. So it's quite a bit of cooking equipment. Sauces and quite a few flies. Yeah, let's get out of this one. Stuff everywhere. There's like an old washing machine or something there. There's another building here, wooden building. That one, the floor in that one was bad because it's all wooden, just rotted through. An old mustard tin there. Yeah, as you can see here, guys, I don't know where you can see it, all the floors collapsed below. Doesn't look as bad because there's that much junk on top of it, and the ceiling's coming down as well. But this is a wooden shed basically, so it's gonna, wood rots quite quick when left untreated. So someone's flipped the bath up there. It looks like they've been trying to take the bath or something for scrap. I don't know what the hell is in them. There is some pictures, some old photographs, an old paper as well. Where's the date? So April the 9th 2001, which was a Monday. So 2001, so what, 17 years? So actually, if it's been abandoned that long, then it's oh mate, that light's amazing.
Yeah.
Can I borrow that thing?
Yeah, if you're running out of battery though, it'll be good, I'll just turn it on.
Yeah, so like I said, that's the door there. That's the front door there, there's the outside. So we'll get back out. Yeah, look, there's an old shed there. Which is just completely rotten and collapsed away, but yet again it was wood, so I'm not surprised. Okay, wow. You've got loads of old shelving. That's sharp. Loads of old shelving there, look. For like parts. This is like a car garage, I think, from the research I've done. So that's probably for like the parts department or something. God, look at that. That's a three-wheeler, a Robin Reliant, or whatever you say it. And look at that front. The front end is completely rotten away. There's look at that, guys. Look how nature has just taken over. Look at the growth over that. It's almost like it's growing over it and it's going to swallow it in. It's quite interesting, that one. Something else there. Watch your eyes, guys, when you come through. Alright. Oh yes, ripping all my stuff. Okay, so I don't know how well you guys can see this. There's a tractor there. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's actually a tractor there, a small sit-on one. And then that trailer, this galvanised trailer, is actually hitched onto that tractor. And there's actually a bigger tractor here. You can see the stainless exhaust there. But that's like a more farmer's sized one, where that's more of a generous garden. Okay. So there's the back of that tractor I mentioned. You can see the tyres there and the seat. There's an old bonnet there, look. So like I said, guys, this was a car garage. I think it was more like a classic sort of vintage restoration type shop. So you can see all this galvanised shelter here has obviously all started falling down. You can see there, that's a Mark II Golf, Volkswagen Golf. Well, you can see it. It might be worth coming back here in the winter when the stingers and everything have died off. This is a trailer here, and then in here you've got brake servos, or I think they're called brake boosters in the US. I'm not sure. You've got some seats. You've got a roll bar there. At the back, you've got some old bonnets and some wings. They're quite big, so they're quite vintage style cars. You've got some wooden frames there, which I'd imagine are like the bucks to form the panels off. Here you've got two long sort of wings or fenders, I think they're called in the US, for the side of the car. There's old lawn mowers. There's lower arms here, look, for the wishbones, suspension components, hydraulic pipes. There's lights. There's an old, if you can see it, there is an old oil pump, like in terms of like a jerry can style, to pump the oil in, not to draw it out. I'll see if I can get there's that car. So same again. There's a gearbox there, look. And then a rear axle. A few gears there, fan rack, cowling surround. So we've got that. If you look at that, you can see how the nettles and everything have grown inside. Let's try and get you a bit closer. See how nature's just grown inside, but then it's obviously died because of the heat, I'd imagine. But it's obviously been growing up through like the wiring harness ports and the entry into the cab. So how long's that been there? Look at this, look. Is that an old Cortina, is it? Ford Cortina, I think. Still got the reg on. The chrome bumpers are still in really good condition. But look how the ground is up literally halfway of the wheel. So what are those, probably 14, 15 inch wheels? The ground's halfway up. But these are quite, I'd imagine now, like even like this, that not sun visor, like wind deflector there, I imagine that's a very rare part now for these cars. It's ever such a shame. You can't really see in. Is it open? No, it's locked. I suppose I want to keep it secure. So I'll try and get past. All the lights, the indicators, everything are still quite good condition, still intact. The grille's still intact. Obviously the metalwork's rotting away, but that'd still be a brilliant donor car for someone who had one of those. Okay, so basically that hut we went in first is there. I don't know if you can see it. So obviously we was on the lower ground first, and then we've walked around and come up to this. So they sort of built this structure on stages, because there is one more level after this. That, looking on Google, hopefully there's more cars. I don't think there's any more down there. It's quite overgrown. That's the back end of the workshop. Some barrels there, some empty oil barrels and whatnot. And then the back, that's the chassis in the back of that cab. The size of that brake drum. Oh, okay. So there's quite a bit in here. So you can see there, look, they've got like racking up spray guns. That's for parts. You can see there's a mouse been living in there, look. Or a bird, probably a mouse. Or mice. There's old alternators. Cooker. It seems a lot of these, they look like air power steering pumps. Seems a lot of these in here, so I don't know if they recon them here or what. See here, look, some old ones. I don't know if they resurfaced them or. So that's like an old lathe. It's huge, actually, to be honest. That's a piece of art, really. You're never going to get that out of here. The weight of this thing and the path that we came up. That's probably going to be here forever and a day, I'd imagine. Look at the size of it all. That's like that's probably like a 24mm drill. So there's just piles of stuff, bags of tools, shelving, paint, oxyacetylene tops, valves. There's a spray gun there. A steel workbench. There's a massive air compressor at the back. There's just spare stuff everywhere. There's spare tools and that for the lathe to change drill bits over and whatnot. Old lawnmower. Is that a lawnmower? It's got a belt. Never seen a belt one like that. Not really sure what it is. Comment below if you know what that is. Obviously that's the motor. It's driven by a belt on pulleys. And that, I'm not really sure. It's got hoses coming off it. So I don't really know what that is. It's very old, I know that. Like this. Monday AM. Auto time system. Pillar drill, like an oxyacetylene bottle. Old steel wheels, like lace wheels, spoked wheels. It's mad how this is just all here still. Still gets me now. So you've got the chair they used to obviously sit in. A couple of number plates. Another pillar drill there. You've got some old turbos and that in the back. You've got this ratchet which is huge. That's like an inch drive. I bet that's probably for using on that, I'd probably say. But over here, got this old like aeroplane sort of thing. And the rest is just parts, an old vice. You've got some old scales here. Weighing, countering and testing machines. So some really old scales. I thought I'd just catch this. Now I mentioned this lathe and the size of it. But you can see how wet it is and how covered in oil and grease. You know, they probably didn't clean it so much. It's just a tool, this is. But because it's so covered in oil and grease, it's still all free. Look at that. If that was something modern today, that would be 12 months and that would seize up. That still all works. I can guarantee you could hook this up, clean it off, maybe strip a couple of little things, grease them up, and this will work and run. I wish I could have this at home. This will work for another 100 years. Amazing. Right, we're going to go up to the next level now. Like I said, that's the first level with the hut and that outside. And the second level was with the workshops and the cars and the lorry. And now we're going up to the third level, which, looking at it, should be some sort of open field with, straight away it comes with a van. Now this isn't a classic P-Reg van, Citroen van, but you can see it's been there a while, so it obviously must have been maybe a parts van originally, or there's the name there. Yeah, so that's there. You can see we've got two cars over the back there, and a caravan here, and possibly a JCB here. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's the arm with the hydraulics that goes down there. I know it's a bit overgrown. If you guys enjoy this video and you're enjoying it so far, if you comment in the comments box below if you would want me to come back. I'm happy to come back in, say, maybe the middle of winter, when I would imagine all these nettles and that will have been died off more so with the cold and the frost. So if you want that, let me know, because you'll probably get more of a view of this sort of stuff, but I don't know how interested you are. That's an old JCB there. There's a caravan here. There's a van over there. So yeah. Right, so coming up to the top of this, we've got two here, guys, which actually look in quite good condition. That one there's a Granada 2.9i gear, obviously 4-door, E-Reg. Don't know what that one is. I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. So that is 2 Granada gears, 2.9 injection. I've never seen one like that, so I don't know how rare they are. They're probably not that desirable, but they look in pretty good condition. The interior looks spot on. You know, the weird thing about this, we've took a wide berth from that caravan because we don't know if anyone's sort of like a tramp's living there or anything. But the weird thing about all these is that they're all in really good condition. It's not like you can go, oh yeah, they've stripped this one for parts and left it there. The engines are in them, the transmissions are in them, the trim's in them. It looks like as good as they've literally drove to these spots years ago or however long they've been here, parked up, and then that's it, just locked with the key, walked off, and just been left ever since. It's mad. It's really mad. Like, you can't, like, it looks like there's a car under that bit there, but you can't see it. There's a caravan there. It's just stuff everywhere. So, come into this caravan, the other side of the field. Massive hole in the floor. There's nothing in there, just an empty shell. So we'll move on round. So we've come over the top of this field, and there's a BM here, BMW 3 Series. Jack, what models are?
3 Series, I reckon.
So here you've got an engine literally sunk into the ground. It looks like a lawnmower engine or something like that. Here you seem to have like an A-frame, a car chassis, a Morgan. I don't know if you can see that. I think what I mentioned down in the wings and everything, looking at it now in the huts, I think that was Morgan wings, but this is a Morgan chassis. It's got the rear axle on it still, so the rear end's complete. It's got all the springs and everything still on it. The chassis actually doesn't look in bad condition, considering these things rotted anyway, let alone sitting here for years. But you can see how nature's just taken over that. And here we've got a BMW. You can see here, see this tubular frame? This is like a makeshift sort of, I don't know, garage if you like, shelter. All this tarpaulin here looks like it would originally been over it to try and protect it from the elements. Probably not a bad idea, but it hasn't worked. It's complete again, hubcaps on it, it's all complete. Whoa, look at that inside, look at the cobwebs. I'm gonna have a rat jump out on me or something. Can't quite make out the mileage, but I don't know how well you guys can see, but the cobwebs in here are just horrendous. It's only 4-speed this, you can tell it's an early one. It's only a 4-speed transmission. So yeah, it probably was a lower CC with it being only 4-speed. All the steering wheels on. The seat's been eaten by the elements quite a lot. You can see here there's quite a lot of growth there, look. And for some reason the passenger seat's missing, which is strange. And the wing there is off here, but all the engine, transmission, everything's still in it. Granted, it's a perfect place for a bird or a rat now, but radiator's still on it, bonnet's on it, but the bonnet hinges have rotten, so it's completely fell off. And I don't even think that's vandaled. I think this is just literally, my opinion of this, guys, is this here is not really trodden down at all. We've literally had to scratch our eyes and force our way through. I think, other than the seat being removed and maybe the wing, this here is actual complete proof of what happens when they're just rotting and decaying. Things will fall off and collapse and slowly just sort of sink into the ground without vandals and everything, because it's very hard now to actually get to a site where vandals or kids or idiots haven't been before you and smash things up or change things, whereas I think this could actually be a a real good find, to be fair. Alright guys, we're done now, we're on the way out. We went up the 3 levels as mentioned, went all the way around the field. There's a couple of vans and that at the far distance in the field that we couldn't get to, and a little out shed, outbuilding, whatever. Had a quick look, like in a distance look into there. It looked okay, it looked like there was a few roll cages out there, but we couldn't really get to it. So that's why I might, like I say, if we want to come back, if you want us to come back, I'll come back when all the nettles and that are gone, just to maybe do a bit more of a thorough explore. But yeah, that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.